This video is sponsored by Aniba.com. Aniba.com is a brand new digital gaming marketplace with the best deals and the lowest prices on all of the hottest, newest games. Use the code Qui-Gon, one word, as is shown on the screen right now for 3% off your purchase. You can find all the necessary links in the description. Anyway, enjoy the video. Hello there! How you guys doing? They're about to announce the new Star Wars game, or show the new Star Wars game, show the gameplay. I think they're showing gameplay anyway, or a trailer or something. But I figured I'd do a reaction to it, a live reaction. I'm gonna react to it anyway, so I might as well make a video out of it, you know. But yeah, let's do it, let's rock. Oh my god! I really hope people give this the respect it's gonna deserve. Not like Battlefront 2, where everyone just hated on it. Oh, microtransactions here. I'm fucking excited. Yeah, yo. The menu looks a lot like Destiny. Actually. Destiny 1, Destiny 2, both actually. I wonder if this has been playing on Xbox. It's an Xbox controller. I'll probably be using a controller, but play it on PC. It's the way to do it! Oh my god! The environments look good. Look at his little droid! Look at his little droid. That droid looks a lot more functional and practical than an astromech, like R2, because they're always on wheels, aren't they? You can't get around anywhere. I suppose they have little jetpacks. This dude though, climbing up on his neck, Ratchet and Clank style, Jack and Dexter. It's good. It's good. It's very good. Oh, there's a Wookiee. Oh my god! Wow, they put the guy in from Rogue One.
Nothing good. They refine the sap into a powerful compound.
That's cool that it's pulling lore from other things.
We have to stop them.
That's the plan. We don't know their end game, but they spread themselves too thin. This map we recovered proves it.
It looks like Wally.
Here you go, bud.
Wally.
These refineries double as brutal prison camps. You use those cutters to create a distraction, while you take your lightsaber and free the Wookiees inside. We need their help to stop the Empire.
Understood.
The guy kind of looks like the newest Spider-Man.
You hear that? He said he needs my help. Come on, buddy.
It's really cool that I can't remember his name, but put the guy from Rogue One in. He was a good actor as well, and a good character. He's called like Forrest Whitaker in real life. I don't know his character name though. This is cool. So it's going to be like a linear thing. It's not going to be an open world thing, but it doesn't mean it's not good. So we're seeing some kind of like resistance fighters and stuff. Oh my god! I hope the fighting and the force use is fluid. Not like too wooden and stick-like, which was a big problem with Force Unleashed, even though it is an old game. Not this, Force Unleashed. This even looks a lot like the Kashyyyk missions on Force Unleashed. I think it was number 1, not number 2. The only reason I mentioned Force Unleashed is that is going to be the obvious comparison point, because they're going after very similar things. You know, a Jedi that survived Order 66 in different ways. He's just gonna go up and high-five these Stormies.
One of the cutters turned on. Are you ready? Kind of drill? We should call it in. Will that be a breach of protocol?
Come on, kill some of them!
Their squad should call it in. Yeah. Better do this by the book.
Oh my god, it's like Assassin's Creed with lightsabers. Wow, okay. The UI looks kind of basic. Oh my god, oh wow, okay. Looks good. The health bars above the Stormtroopers, that looks kind of rudimentary, but I'm sure they'll modernize it a little bit more in the future. I remember shredding those up in Force Unleashed. Oh wow, his stance is really cool as well. The way, oh, his lightsaber is very cool as well. Oh, this guy's just shitting himself. Oh wow. Okay. See, I just really hope this is going to be fluid. The combat is going to be nice and fluid and not sticky or wooden. Like, I love Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but I feel like that's one of the only things that kind of lets that game down is the combat. So it's very important. The combat, a very fundamental thing like the combat is very important. Oh my god! Whoa! Oh my god, this is gonna be so good. If this game gets fucking 8, I swear to god, I'm gonna rage. This game looks amazing. Oh my god, you can do back. Oh, it does look nice and fluid, this does. I wonder if there's gonna be like a hardcore mode. I wonder if there's gonna be like a hardcore mode where you can only take 1 or 2 hits. That would be good because you did.
Never seen a trooper like that before. You gotta get these Wookiees out of lockup. Keep moving, Jedi.
I forgot. I've got the pause feature that's been on YouTube since its creation. But yeah, I hope there's gonna be like a hardcore. I don't know what difficulty this is on, but I would hope there'll be a really hardcore difficulty where it's very, very difficult to survive, like 1v1s with those guys. Then again, though, this is his first encounter with one of them, as that guy up there just said. So I don't know, but I would hope they'd put in like a hardcore survival mode on, or not survival, but.
Think you can help me, BD?
'Cause I like games where I really like games where you can only take a few hits, like it's proper sort of immersive like that, instead of taking a ton of different, like 12 hits before you die. They are probably playing this on a lower difficulty though, just to really show off all of the different mechanics and stuff. I like the camera work, the angles and stuff. Giant bees. Let them fight each other. I love it. Fuck! Oh my god, that's so cool. Oh well, you can't block flames, bro. You can't block flames. You can slow down time though, which helps. I like that they're showing the really ugly side of the Empire in this game. Again, it's something that the Force Unleashed, it was either the first one or the second one, I can't remember, but it's something that game did, or those games did as well. And it's good, because a massive empire doesn't become a massive empire without ugly industry and, the economic side of things. Obviously, you don't have to enslave an entire world and destroy their planet, but there would always be, in real wars and in wars in the future, there will always be that aspect of having to provide the the resources for such machines and guns and weapons and stuff. So I like that it's exploring that. It was a really interesting concept. It was, and it kind of happened in Republic Commando as well, where the Separatists did the same thing to the Wookiees. I don't know, the Wookiee planet Kashyyyk must be like a really resource-rich planet. I don't know much extended. I know some extended lore, but not that much. So, but the Wookiees always seem to be at, the ones getting fucking kicked the shit out of. It's not very nice because they're adorable. They're so nice. They're not really. Wookiees can be dicks too. Oh, look at that little droid.
Sure you want to plug into this thing? Okay. Sure this thing. You had no idea that was there, did you? You just wanted to turn that cutter on you.
Oh shit, there's quite a lot of them. Oh wow, they put like wildlife and stuff in the game. That's amazing. Yeah, don't take him one head on. Yeah, run, dude, run! I just saw that thing's health bar. Don't mess with that. I want to see some kind of menu that shows all the different powers you can have. I'm sure they'll keep some secret though. But, you know, so it's a surprise when people get to the endgame bits. The AI seems quite good. I wonder if they'll put like lightsaber customization in this game. It was in The Force Unleashed, wasn't it? I'm not sure if it was completely canon to The Force Unleashed. I think it was just sort of like a novelty to have different color lightsabers, but I wonder if they'll put that in. I'd love to see some kind of player customization. Obviously, they'll have skill point customization, character build customization stuff, but different outfits maybe, or if you could like wear that Imperial Trooper, you know, that was using the magma stick thing. If you could use outfits like that, maybe. I think that'd be quite cool. Or just customize different bits of armor. Because no one wants to walk around in just like civilian armor the entire game.
Patrol the base. Got another breach down here. Some kind of webbing. Hey, who's that?
By a white shock? Oh, fucking hell. Oh my god! Looks like chewing into his neck. Fucking hell. I'm hoping that the flurries like that, I hope that they're natural and they just, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but they're just like natural kill moves and stuff. Like it's just a fluid way of a fluid animation for it. I hope it's not like I don't know, like I hope it just feels very fluid and doesn't feel wooden. Like I said, I mentioned Assassin's Creed Odyssey earlier in the video. Like I love that game to bits, but to me, I wasn't a fan of where they went with the combat. The reason I mention it is because that's a game that I absolutely love, but in my opinion, it's kind of, well, it is let down by a fundamental aspect of the game. I'm not a fan of the combat. I think Unity combat and stuff, like when it was more fluid, was better. And I think people focus so much on graphics and frame rate. How does it run on this console and that console and this console? And is there going to be microtransactions? Because if there is, even if it's cosmetic microtransactions, I'm going to complain constantly. I'm not, of course. That's just the internet's opinion because people have nothing better to do. And it is an EA game, so people are just going to shit at it anyway. But people forget how important fundamental things such as combat and just minor parts of the combat really can affect how the game plays and how fun it is. And movement as well, like just how fluid it feels, you know. Especially on controllers, because since I moved to PC with a massive keyboard, all games feel a lot more fluid and just nicer to play. On a controller, I'd say it's a harder thing to do to create a very fluid and soft and just natural feeling experience, like you're actually in control of a character, not just sort of like playing it like a Telltale game where you can tell them to go left or right, but nothing else, you know what I mean? This game's coming out at the end of this year, isn't it? Oh, wow. I like the effects they've used as well. Very similar to Kylo Ren when he throws Rey in Force Awakens. I only keep pausing it just because I'm not sure if my voice will be heard over the gameplay. Otherwise, I just like keep playing in the background. So I hope you guys don't mind. If you do, I don't care though. Nah, but that's why I keep pausing it. I like that there's a lot. Hey, look at that guy's little face, the scout trooper in the window. A lot of background lore to the side. Maybe there's going to be like a codex option or something that's going to cover some of the extended lore. Because there's so much lore out there. A lot of it's been decanonized by Disney's stupid idea of what is canon and what isn't canon. But it's a good way of showing more viewers and more players canon. Because it's sometimes hard to find. Well, it's very hard to find out all the canon, especially of like Kashyyyk and stuff, unless you've read every book and every comic and every novel there is, and there is a lot, obviously.
I just heard from the captain. They're coming. Oh, this is it. At least we have the high ground.
High ground jokes.
Is active. Reporting a live cutter near the cell block. Immediate aid required.
I have the high ground.
We're destroying everything.
Let him live. Let him live. Let him live. Don't let him live. I like that it's an insta-kill. You know, like things like in Force Unleashed and some of the older Star Wars games, Stormtroopers could, just to make it more challenging, Stormtroopers could take like 15 hits, or maybe not that drastic, but like 5 hits. And it just doesn't work like that. It's a lightsaber. It would insta-kill pretty much. It would insta-kill people using plastoid armor plating anyway. Oh, you've got a stamina bar down at the bottom. Oh, wow, he force pulled him and held him in front of his own thing. Wow. I hope this game's a success, because in like, if we get a future Star Wars Battlefront, like Star Wars Battlefront 3, which I don't think we need for at least 3 more years, because the new one's got so much more, the current one, the 2017 one's got so much potential as it is, they don't need to overwrite it yet, I don't think. It's got at least 3, maybe 4 or 5 years left in it. But if and when they do make another Battlefront, I hope that, especially if this game's successful and popular, I hope that it's, I hope that it's that it borrows lightsaber combat from this game in Star Wars Battlefront 3 or whatever comes after for the Star Wars Battlefront franchise, and borrows lightsaber combat and style to it, just to make each hero and villain feel its own, and maybe some RPG elements into it, like customizing your character and stuff. Maybe playing as Darth Maul or whatever. They feel good in the current Battlefront, but they could certainly take it further and make them more unique, and make Luke feel more different to Anakin, for example. Because the lightsaber combat looks quite good in this. Then again, though, I haven't seen lightsaber to lightsaber combat yet, so I wouldn't know. Not fully, anyway.
Jedi will be here any minute. And our reinforcements. In retreat. Good. Sir, the fewer distractions.
Oh shit, it's another one of them. What are they called? They are really cool. Oh, yes! See, they had these things in Force Unleashed. They were different. They wore different armor, but they had, like, I forget their names, but they had, like, warriors that filled the same role as those guys that he's about to fight now with the magma, whatever they're called. I know they're sticks held by magma guards. I don't know if that's what they're actually called. Electro staffs or whatever you call them. So again, it's borrowing elements or inspired elements from Force Unleashed. Yeah, take out the grunts first. Rule 1 of fucking gaming. Kill the grunts first before taking the boss. This man has never played Dark Souls or The Witcher. Oh, I like that. Kill the grunts! There's a guy behind you. Oh, wow, he's frozen him. Okay, so those guys must not be force sensitive then. Perhaps. Because he's frozen him. There's still a guy behind you. Kill the guy. Kill the guy! Oh, wow, I like this. They can't take like 100 hits. They can only take a few, although they make up for that with, you know, good fighting skills. I like... Oh, did he kill the other guy? He must have killed the other guy. I like that. So instead of... This is something that some games do, and I don't like this. Like, Destiny is a good example of this, where instead of making a very decent AI that's a real challenge and a real boss fight, they just give it 5 health bars and then a shield bar. So make it have 20 times more health than you. And Bloodborne and Dark Souls are kind of guilty of that as well. I really appreciate it when games... They can give it more health than you, perhaps, but not stupidly more health, if you get what I mean. I like it when games actually make the AI challenging instead of just being a bullet sponge or a lightsaber sponge in this case. And this is probably on the easiest difficulty as well. That is really cool when he's like...
Need to slice this. No guards.
Ah, the Wookiees! Free the Wookiees. Let the Wookiee win. Now he has an army of furballs at his disposal.
Hey, we're here to free you. You're not alone.
Oh shit. Who knew?
Visitation is not permitted.
Another thing that's seen in Rogue One. Are they good fighters? I know they're strong, but are they good fighters? Yeah, they are. Wow.
Games play best on Xbox One.
Wow, that's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. That looks really, really cool. Like I said, fluidity of like the fundamental gameplay aspects of like fighting and sprinting and running and stuff. That, in my mind, is what matters the most. It's passed over a lot. People talk about, oh, how many particle effects are there going to be? Is it 4K compatible on Xbox One, X2, 3, and PS5 and all that shit? But fundamental mechanics really do matter a lot, I think, anyway. Well, no, I know. Because you could have the best game in the world, but if it's let down by gameplay mechanics, it's, you know, it suffers. I feel, this is just my opinion, I feel like the Dark Souls and Bloodborne games are like this, where they had a lot of modern game elements, but they kept the same game fighting mechanics from the original Dark Souls, and I felt like that was... I never went near Dark Souls that much because of that. I felt like that was to its detriment. So I think that the fighting is very important in this. But yeah, it looks really, really cool. Like I said, I would hope the elements, if this is a good game and the lightsaber combat is good, I would hope the elements would influence the next Battlefront game or even the current Battlefront game. We've already seen that EA or DICE have been able to change the lightsaber combat mid-game without having to move on to a brand new Battlefront or develop a whole new game. So this could influence it, absolutely. I wonder if we could get, like I've already voiced my opinion on, I really don't want Rise of Skywalker content coming to Battlefront 2. Maybe we could get some of this. Like when this releases, I wonder if they do a season based around this. Oh my god, they could even put their fucking character in the game, couldn't they? It's called Cal. Oh my, wow, they actually could. They actually could put this character in Star Wars Battlefront 2, and that would be, maybe one of his abilities would be his droid for a health stim, and wow, that would be weird seeing them both in both games, and obviously they'd have to adapt to the different lightsaber mechanics. in Battlefront 2 to this game, but I think that'd be really, really cool. They could bring reinforcements in for Battlefront 2 as, I don't know what those guys are, the guys with the staffs. They'd be really cool. They'd be really, really cool. Like, you know, like reinforcements that you could play as for like 2,000 battle points or whatever. That'd be awesome. That fucking hell, I would kill to have that in Battlefront 2. That'd be really, really cool. Usually I'm all about the Clone Wars for Battlefront 2, but they could put some of this stuff in. Maybe, wow. Yeah, maybe a map based around this area where the Wookiees are sort of enslaved and stuff. That would be really, really cool. This isn't a Battlefront 2 video though, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. But it looks cool. It does. It looks cool. I would have liked to see some menus showing different menus. I make it sound so boring, but I would have liked to see some stuff such as like different abilities and how the skill trees are gonna look. I hope they're not too linear. So for example, when I play it, I would hope that my character build would be vastly different to my friend's character build or one of your character builds. I hope that there's enough options and also restrictions, meaning like you can only have 2 or 3 certain variable powers at a certain time to make it so that it's like a very, kind of like Mass Effect, you know. You guys know I'm a big fan of Mass Effect. Think that, you know, the different character builds you can have and the different ways you can play through that game. You can have a biotic, or you could have a sniper or an infiltrator class, or you could have a soldier or a tank type class, or even World of Warcraft or anything. I would hope that they would allow people to sort of build their characters into those archetypes without actually having to select a restricted class like that, but just sort of pick different abilities and skills that would lead to that and lead to a very different experience. So many games, especially like this, always promise, oh, this is going to be a different experience for everyone, or create your own character, and very few of them, it's like a slogan now in E3 and in you know, when new games come out, but very few of them ever deliver on it. Unless the RPGs like the new Assassin's Creeds or The Witcher or Mass Effect and stuff. When it's a linear game like this, they always promise, you know, a lot of customization or very variable character styles and builds, and approaching different parts of missions differently if you've got this skill to that skill. But it rarely happens unless it's in an open world RPG game. So I would hope that we'd see something like that. So that bit where he was sneaking up on some stormtroopers because he was outnumbered, and I'm sure there'll be bigger parts where you're more outnumbered than that. Maybe a tank-built character would approach that differently. Maybe someone who has more health, or, you know, does more damage with the lightsabers, or with his lightsaber. Or maybe there'll be an ability for a second lightsaber, so you can dual wield and you can take double the soldiers on at once. That would be a cool thing to do, because I think with a linear game like this, you always want to make up for the fact that it is inevitably going to be more linear than an open world game or an RPG like the other Star Wars game that we were supposed to get but they cancelled. To make up for the lack of open world and just fundamentally open elements, I think that's how they could make up for it and close that gap, by making it so that when you do replay this game, or when you watch, say, a YouTuber, say me, play through it, and then you go and play it the next day, you have a different experience to the one I have. You know what I mean? And then it has more longevity and more an air of continuity, and it just survives for longer. One of the reasons why Skyrim has lived for so long is because you really can just approach it however you want and play each mission. And again, it's an open world game and an RPG, so it's different, but that aspect of approaching it and playing it in all these different ways, I think, is important, especially for a game like this, because it could really set itself apart from all the other linear action games, because there's not many of these games anymore. Most games are either multiplayer shooters, battle royales, or open world games, and usually they're very good, especially open world games. You guys know I like open world games, like Mass Effect and The Witcher and Skyrim and stuff. That's my favorite genre. So there's not really, those are the ones that are ruling the roost right now for very story-driven games. There's not really anything that's linear like this anymore, and I think that it's like that for a reason. They just got outpaced in every way by multiplayer games that deliver fast, constant, you know, repetitive but hopefully not boring action, or single-player open-world games that deliver these immersive worlds and loads of different ways of playing it and approaching, how do I take this fort, how do I kill this monster, how do I, you know, kill these bandits, sort of thing. I think this genre of game died for a good reason, because it was a product of an older gaming generation where they couldn't make open worlds, and if they did make open worlds back then, say in 2006 or 2005, or at the time of Force Unleashed, if they were to make Force Unleashed an open world, they would have to dial back on everything else to save money, to put that money into developing the open world and designing the open world. Do you know what I mean? So I think this is an aged style of game, or an aged sort of this linear style. It's a very aged style of game. However, that's not to say that it doesn't have a place now. It just means there's more on the line, and it's more difficult to make a game that can rival The Witcher 3 or Cyberpunk 2077 or Mass Effect Andromeda or Skyrim or the next Assassin's Creed Kingdom, which is going to be Vikings and stuff. To rival that, you really, really have to take it to another level. Not just in gameplay terms and being, making it a fun game compared to those other games, but also, and very much so, in the continuity. Can you replay this? Can you replay it 2 times or 3 times or 4 times? Or is it a game that you play once and then you forget about? Because for games that you play once and then you forget about, they're famous for a year and then they're dead. They're famous for a year and then they're forgot about, and people look back and yeah, that was a good game, but they don't replay it, And again, that's where open world games are really coming to their own, because there's that whole aspect of exploration and stuff that helps with the replayability and multiple choices in games like the Mass Effect and the Witcher series, which this game will not have. All I'm saying is I'm not dissing it. I'm not negative. I don't like to be negative towards anything really, but especially not new games. It does look good. I'm just saying this is something that they will have to very much have to confront. Another wish would be that it would be a long game, because it's a linear game. One thing that's always put me off Call of Duty is you can play that game, you can play the campaigns, even in games that are beloved like Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 2 and stuff. You could always play their campaigns in one sitting. You could sit down for an afternoon and you'd finish it, even on the hardest difficulty. That's just fucking stupid. If you're gonna make a campaign, make it compelling and at least 12 hours long. At least. I think Halo struck a good balance with that, where it told a very, very good story, but it wasn't too short, but it wasn't the longest either. Halo 4, Halo 5, they're good examples of that, where they tell a story, but it doesn't cut into their budget that they've set aside for multiplayer. So the wish would be that this would be a long game as well, and there'll be a lot of content to it. I would hope to see big battles, large-scale battles. You never just want to see, and another aspect of this genre has always been, you play the Force Unleashed, for example. In Force Unleashed, you would never come up against 50 soldiers and have to navigate around them or figure out a way to take them down. You'd come up against maybe 20 stormtroopers and an AT-ST at most. What I'm saying is the engines back then could never handle that many AI running around at once, unless the AI was very rudimentary and dumb. But now that the game mechanics and technology are really catching up, and more people are going over to PC gaming, which is a lot more versatile and a lot more advanced, and it advances in technological advancement a lot faster than console gaming. Now that we've got all that, you can really support these big cinematic experiences that are like the films, where there's 50 guys there on one side, 30 guys on that side, and you can just jump in and kill them all, sort of thing, or sneak past them. Usually in the older games, that was like a hidden cutscene where it was they made it look like you could be a part of it, but then you just hit an invisible wall and you couldn't actually take part in it, or it was played in a cutscene and then the only gameplay that you get to play is against 5 stormtroopers. What I'm saying is I would hope that there'd be some big battles, I don't know, where you've got to defend against Imperials or something, and there's 40 or 50 stormtroopers or even 200 stormtroopers, and it's a proper battle, as opposed to just being small scale and dampened, and the max being 15 enemies in an area at once. That would be my hope anyway. I always like the big large scale battles like that, and it's about time we got more of that as well, because technology and gameplay engines and stuff are really catching up, especially on the PC gaming side of things. What else would I like to see? Obviously, I think another way to increase its continuity is add some more content. I don't know how long the game's going to be, I don't know what's going to be shown in the game, but it would be good to see more content. However, they have restricted themselves to that era. Like, no spoiler alert. He's not going to do that well. He can fight, and he can do this, he can do that, he can do this, and he can save Wookiees, and he can save princesses, and do this, and whoa, he's amazing, and pull Star Destroyers out of the sky. No, wait, that's Starkiller in the very unrealistic scene in Force Unleashed. But inevitably, he's not going to be that successful because Darth Vader survived until the end of Return of the Jedi. Unless this guy survives longer than Darth Vader and then, gets really successful and victorious after Darth Vader dies and the Empire is destroyed. But then who is he victorious against? Do you see what I mean? When you base it around films that are already set in stone, this is the mistake that Force Unleashed made with Force Unleashed 2, which was just like a repeat of Force Unleashed 1, the exact same stuff, just slightly better graphics and better mechanics. It's inevitably limited. He can be a good Jedi and he can save loads of lives, but inevitably he's either going to fight Darth Vader and lose, or he's never going to meet Darth Vader and he's never going to get that big. Otherwise, you would have seen in the films the Empire killing him or fighting him, and he would have been the focus of it as opposed to the Rebel Alliance. You see what I mean? They're kind of limited by focusing it around... games need to get away from focusing it around original trilogy stuff. It's like with the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign. Although it was very good, it was obvious Iden Versio was never going to be part of the Empire for too long, because the Empire loses. Spoiler alert for a 40-year-old or 50-year-old film. I think people need... that's the main problem. People need to move away from the original trilogy. Star Wars Rebels made the same mistake as well. They need to move away from the original trilogy and maybe even the Clone Wars, maybe to more ancient Jedi and Sith, where it's not as explored in major mainstream Star Wars lore, not Disney bullshit feminist Star Wars lore, but actual Star Wars lore that Star Wars fans decide upon, and move away into a place that isn't explored as much, so you can have creative freedom and put what you want in the game and have this battle. And if you want the character to win at the end, you can do that. If you want him to be a martyr and die for the cause, you can do that too. But with this, again, inevitably, hate to break it to you, he's not going to get that powerful, because eventually, if he gets that powerful, Darth Vader is going to try and stamp him out, and there may be a fight between him and Darth Vader. You would hope. But again, hate to break it to you, he's going to lose because he's not in the films, you know what I mean? And yeah, he could outlive Darth Vader and then start to become really powerful after, but who has he got to fight? And then he's clashing with Luke Skywalker. And, why is this guy not in the new films like Luke Skywalker is if he outlives Darth Vader? That would be the fundamental problem. Not to say they're just going to get in the way of the game. It's still going to be a great game. It's just this leads into the fact that there probably won't be a sequel, I would guess. Just because where they're going to take it, where they're going to go with it, because again, if he becomes that powerful, he's going to be bumping heads with Darth Vader. He can either join with Darth Vader, which he doesn't because we would have seen it in the films, or he can either fight with Darth Vader and he loses. Otherwise, Darth Vader wouldn't have fought Luke at the end of Return of the Jedi and stuff. So you see the things, you see the clashes and stuff, so I hope people and developers start to move away from original trilogy stuff, and even Clone Wars stuff, and definitely away from new trilogy stuff, fuck the new trilogy, and go into less explored regions, like the Old Republic, or Knights of the Old Republic, that sort of era, or maybe even before them, or shortly after that sort of period, just because you've got more creative freedom with that, and you've got more chance to stun people with amazing gameplay sequences. Do you know what I mean? Not to be negative, that's just playing devil's advocate. Like, again, his success as a Jedi is going to be very much stemmed and limited because, again, if he gets too big, he's going up against Palpatine and Vader, and he's not going to win that fight because you would see him in the films otherwise. Unless they're going to rewrite original trilogy lore, which they are not going to do. No one would be happy with that if they did it. That would be the only problem with setting it around this period. Like, one thing that made the Clone Wars, not the Clone Wars TV show so good, and the Rebels TV show so crap, aside from the fact that they're just fundamentally two very different shows, and Clone Wars, whilst animated, is focused on adults and, good fight sequences and good story, Rebels is more, hey, let's make the women characters the most powerful, and let's make everyone have oversized heads, because it's Disney after all. One of the main things that made the Rebels much less successful is because it was in a very constricted time zone where the lore had been thoroughly explored at that point. So they couldn't deviate from the Battle of Endor, for example, and the Battle of Hoth, for another example. Whereas with the Clone Wars had so many more battles than was covered in the episode 1, 2, and 3. And episode 1, 2, and 3 really were more just like a summary of the Clone Wars, weren't they? Or best bits. Not even best bits, just like a compilation of some of the battles and events of the Clone Wars. So with the Clone Wars TV show, they had all this creative freedom, and that's spilling over into another season now, coming out very soon. They had all this creative freedom where they could literally do just whatever they wanted with the story and go here and go there and do this and do that. Whereas Rebels, they couldn't, and they were a lot more limited. They could explore some things that weren't seen in the original films, but nothing too major, because then it would overshadow the original film's plot and wouldn't make sense. Like, why would... Say if in Rebels they found a Sith that was way more powerful than Vader or Maul, and he destroyed and he fought 200 Jedi at once, or 200 Rebel soldiers at once, or force choked 20 people at once, why is he shown in that? Why is he not shown in the films as opposed to Darth Vader in the films? You know what I mean? So they're very limited by how high the films, the original trilogy, reached in terms of epicness of battles and lightsaber fights, which really just show, because it's a very old. The original trilogy films are very old, so they didn't have that epic lightsaber fights. They were still really good, but they were between an untrained Jedi and an old man, restricted by being mostly a defunct robot. And obviously the main reason was because it's such an old film, they didn't have the technology or really the fight sequences or choreography back then to create such as good fight scenes as you can now. But what I'm saying is the original trilogy only ever got that high in terms of epicness of fights and stuff, so games set around the original trilogy can only really get this high too. They can't go further, otherwise why are they not focused on in the original trilogy? Why is this character not focused on in the original trilogy if he ends up being more powerful than Darth Vader or Palpatine? Do you see what I'm saying? And this was one of the major flaws with The Force Unleashed, with him like pulling down a Star Destroyer and stuff. Like, why is Luke Skywalker the go-to good guy in the original trilogy if Starkiller can pull down a fucking Star Destroyer? Logically, he could do that with the Death Star and just plummet it into a rock or into an asteroid or something, or a planet. So that was one of the flaws, and that's what made with the Force Unleashed games, and that's what made them so unbelievable from a lore perspective, and they were never really considered lore because of that very reason, I think. So this is just something that this game is going to need to be, or the developers are going to need to be aware of, and I hope that they've meandered around that and navigated around that, and we're still going to have a really good and decent story because of it. Anyway, I've rambled on very long. Probably turned this into like a 40-minute video when it could have just been 15 minutes. Oh well, I don't care. What do you guys think? What are you thinking of this? I know there's going to be loads of hate. One, because people are just very negative and pessimistic about games nowadays. Stupidly, it's just because so many YouTubers encourage negativity in the gaming industry very irresponsibly. Fuck those guys, seriously. And two, it's going to be negative because people really have just jumped on the hate bandwagon of EA Star Wars games because there was cosmetics and loot crates that were buyable in Battlefront 2. But as I think we can all agree on, like it was literal just cosmetics and like time savers. It was never like a game-changing thing that you could buy. So, you know, that's the logic that EA Star Wars is still dealing with, and you're still going to get the retards on the internet that talk about stupid shit like that. I just hope that enough positivity is surrounded by this game. Even if it turns out to be not a very great game when it comes out, it's still going to be quite good. Like, just judging from this, you can tell it's going to be a pretty damn good game. So I would love to see some positivity surrounding it, and, you know, just people being positive about it. Even if people don't like the look of it, there's no need to be like, oh my god, they've ruined Star Wars! But then go and watch Rise of Skywalker, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's my anger vented about modern Star Wars fans. What about yours? But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this gameplay. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be a good game? What do you think any problems they're going to need to avoid? Like I've spoken about, like the limit of the original trilogy and stuff, and setting it around the original trilogy era. I actually wonder if they're going to incorporate any aspects of Rebels, because they had the Rogue One. They have some Rogue One elements in this. I wonder, it's around the same time as Rebels, so I would love to see. I'm not that much of a fan of Rebels, but I would love to see maybe some, at the very least, Easter eggs or plot additions to it from the original trilogy, and obviously from the original trilogy, from Rebels, and also from the Clone Wars, because it's shortly after the Clone Wars as well. I would love to see that. At the very least, Easter eggs, but maybe even like a clash. Maybe you see Darth Maul or something. That would be pretty cool for a mission. As long as it's lore friendly, you know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Share this video on social media. It really helps, you know, get the channel growing and get more people watching it, and helps the video make more money as well, which is always nice. I'm not going to pretend I don't like money. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll hopefully see you all in the next video.